Okay, this is going to be the final wrap on this crosshead guide, and it's been a journey to say the least. And I did some work off camera because of the time restraints. It would just make the video too long, and so we're getting ready to do the final little touch-up work. We're going to mill some flutes on each side of it, and we're going to drill a hole for the lubricator. And that's about all we're going to do. And then we're going to move the chuck back over to the lathe, and we're going to cut it off. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do two things. First of all, I'm going to move the camera over to the mill and see if I can zoom in on what I've done. All I've done is cut the two large radiuses with a 1-inch end mill, and the setup is still in the mill. So I'm going to reset up and cut the flutes next, but I'm going to move the camera over there and show you that. Then I'm going to go to the computer. I'm going to show you what we did cutting the two large radiuses, because that took a little figuring in CAD to actually get that done, but it worked out okay, and so it is done. And I'll show you on the computer what we're going to do as far as the flutes are concerned. Some of this information is not forthcoming in the instructions, so or there's some version of it. So I've done what I thought was correct, and for the flutes, they don't give you any specific dimensions. So I've just figured out from the picture basically what they want me to do. So I'm going to move the camera quickly over here to the mill and kind of point out what we did, which should only take a few minutes. Go to the computer and take care of those little items, then we'll get down to business and cut these flutes. Okay, stand by for a second. Okay, we're back over to the mill, and I won't be able to completely show you everything, probably, because we can't get the camera in there to do that. But let me just zoom in on what I did, and hopefully I can keep my hands out of the way here. So you can see the unit there, okay, and I put some Dicom on here and there to make sure that I'm, going in the right place. You can see the 1-inch end mill here, okay? So that's a 1-inch end mill, and all I did was work my way down through, and I've got a jack under here but this still isn't very solid. Most of the brass has been cut away, so it's not a really good setup, but it's the best I could figure out how to do. So let me quickly zoom out again a little bit. And so actually we're in the right, let's see, yeah, we're in the right position here to actually cut the flute. So there is another large radius, and I don't think you can see it. It's on the other side. It's on the opposite side of that radius there. And so that is cut. So I cut those two large radiuses. So let me go to the computer and explain what I did, and then we'll get busy cutting the flutes. We're gonna cut four. Let's see, on this side, I think let's see, I don't remember exactly now which side is which. I think on this side we're gonna cut 4 short flutes here and here, and we're gonna cut 2 long flutes on the other side. So I'll show you that on the drawing on the computer. So with that, I'll just I'll end this little portion here, and I'll move the camera into the where the computer is, and we'll look at that. Okay, I've got AutoCAD on the screen right here, and here's the unit right here. Okay, hopefully you can see the cursor. So here's the unit we're working on. And these are the 2 large radiuses that we just cut, right here and right up here, okay? And I'll try to make a quick, simple explanation of this. What I did was I went back here to a 0 point, and I put in some dimensions for this. So I've used the two 0 points, which is the center right here, to measure from that point up to the center of this, to this diameter or radius here, okay? And I've also measured to the center this way from a point over here, okay? And I put those two dimensions in. Then what I did was located the end mill per those dimensions, and then just worked my way down through the unit on the mill. And I did the same thing with this diameter down here, this radius down here. I calculated the distance from the center down and the distance from this point over. And I found these points with the edge finder, and then just came over on the DRO and located the 1-inch end mill, okay? And then just worked my way down through. What I did was I ran the Z-axis down like 40 thousandths at a whack, and then I zeroed this out on the DRO. Then I just ran the cutter in till I hit 0, and I just kept doing that, 40 thousandths down, ran the cutter into 0, and over again till I got through the 750 thousandth diameter. And I did the same on both of these. This one was a no-brainer down here. This one had to come out flush with this cut right here that I made, this 195 thousandths inset right here. So I came out about 5 thousandths off, so I had to kind of put the 1/2-inch end mill back on there and clean this up right here a little bit. So anyway, this one didn't come out perfect. This one seemed to come out perfect, but like I say, it's a no-brainer, so it didn't really matter. Next thing we're going to do is cut the flutes, okay? So let me go up here with AutoCAD, and I've laid out the flutes. And I've laid out a lot of drawings here just to let you know. The work I did with the 1/2-inch end mill, the work I did with the 1/4-inch end mill, and some other insignificant stuff over here. Anyway, I've laid out the flutes now, and what I've determined is there's two flutes, but I have to know how far to turn the rotary table. So I had to array the flutes around the diameter here to see, per the picture, you know, what the angle was. So I've determined that the angle is 10 degrees. So I need to move the rotary table 10 degrees either side of this center line to mill the flutes in here. And I put some dimensions on the flutes. So this is a 1/2-inch ball end mill, and it's only going in 20 thousandths. It's got a depth of cut of 20 thousandths. So I put some dimensions on here so I know where to go. And so that's what we're going to do next, is mill these flutes. And this is going to probably take me a few minutes, so I may fast forward through this. But at least we'll get all this on video. And the main thing I wanted to explain is the procedures that I use, because this isn't really explained in the instructions. Other than that, just need to mill the flutes. And so there's a picture with the instructions. So I use the picture to make my own drawing, like I do everything else. And I wanted to explain the procedure on this because they say you can. I did this with a 1-inch end mill. They say you can do this with a boring head. Mine's a little bit large for this procedure. I could have used it, I suppose. You have to leave enough stick out up here from the chuck so you have room to do these things. You know, so I've got some material up here that I had to leave extra stick out there, so I had room to get these cutters. They say you can do this with a fly cutter too, and that would probably do the same thing, except you need the room to do that. So the end mill took up the least amount of room as far as I was concerned, so that was the easiest thing to do it. Well, with that, I'll just call off this little portion here, and we'll go back to the shop and get busy cutting these little flutes and to drill this one hole through here. And then we'll be ready to put the chuck back in the lathe and cut this off and do a few little additional things. But basically this will conclude all the milling work on this unit. And it has been a journey, that's for sure. So with that, I'll end this little segment here, and we'll get back out to the shop. Thanks for watching. Okay, yeah, this is a little bit touchy business, so I'm going to drill the hole here off camera. I put the 4 flutes in this side. This is the most tedious side. So I'll go through the procedure on the other side. It's the same thing. So I gotta turn this thing around 180 degrees, and I'm gonna put some dicom on there so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm gonna mark the we're gonna go to 90 here. Let's see where we're at here. I made a mistake once before here. That's a disaster, so got to be really careful. This rotary table is a little bit, it's easy to move, it's easy to read the fine dial, but this dial here, the main dial is metal on metal, and it's a little hard to see. Easy to make a mistake. So okay, so let me move this out of the way. I notice this isn't coming out exactly perfect either, because I had to do a little touch-up work right here to get this to blend in. And by the way, you're seeing the radiuses in better light now than you saw on the computer or you saw before. So I had to do a little work here to get this to blend in. This side ended up to be a little more taken off of it right here, so 5 thousandths off. So actually I didn't figure that in when I did the drawing, but it's okay. It's just a few thousandths, but it is noticeable. So I'm going to put some dicom on here. These are the easier slots actually, because, and then I'm going to mark it off with the calipers. That way, if I'm going to make a mistake, I can see it. Okay. Now I've already got this set, so this 0 point back here is set exactly. So I'm good there. I happen to know that right now this 155 thousandths, this thickness here. See if I can see the camera here. So this thickness here is 155 thousandths. It's got to go down to 100 thousandths. So I've got to put this in a collet on the lathe and turn this end down a little bit, and this end gets a hole bored through it too. So that'll happen on the lathe later. I will cut this off to length here. Let's see. I just moved this chuck over to the lathe actually. This chuck goes on the tag, the little tag lathe. In the end, I'll have to use a 3/4 collet, and I'll have to use the mini mill. I misspoke. This goes on the tag lathe. Did I say mill? I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to set the caliper here for 155 thousandths. Then I'm going to go another 100 thousandths, because that's where the first where the flutes start. So 100. So that's 255. Touchy. Bear with me here. Okay, it's pretty close. We're within a half, so So there's where the flutes start, right there. That's the center of the cutter, okay? So, okay, now, where do they end? Oh, again, they end at different lengths. So one of them ends at the short one, the 1.568. Ah. 1.568. Well, there's where the short one ends. Oh, wait a minute. That's not right. I got to add to that. See, 1.568. Oh, gosh. 1.568. I got to add 155. 1.568 plus 155. Well, 1.723. Let's see if that looks better. See, that's a good reason to do this. Yeah, that looks better. That's the short one. It goes almost to there. Okay, the next one is 1.671. So add 155. 1.826. Yeah. Well, this one goes all the way out to here. Okay. Maybe I should have left a little bit more room. So let's go back here. And we've got this. This is, let's see, I came in 100,000, so let's go to 100. Well, there we are. Well, that looks right. Now we need to move the rotary table 10 degrees. Let's go this way with it. Well, there's 10 degrees that way. Okay. Well, we're going to go down, we're going to touch off, and we're going to go down 20 thousandths. Now, it should, technically, it should be right. Well, I changed it here, so I guess not. So, okay, let's just... Okay, there we are. So the DRO was already set up, so we're good there too from the other side. Well, that's a good sign. So we're going to go down 20,000. I know you can't see the DRO, but I'm just dialing it down 20,000. Okay. So now this slot is the short one, and it's 1.6. Oh, that's less than 100,000. We're up. So we got 100,000 on it. So we got to go to 1.671. Boy, no time to screw up at this point. See here, a little hard to see. We're getting pretty close, that's why I'm, oh, we're there. Okay, we're there. Roll it off a little bit. Back to 100,000. Okay, we'll raise up the Z, get it out of our way. Okay, there we go. We're going to move the rotary table 10 degrees the other direction. And this side's going to be a little close, same as the other one was, so that's an error on my part. We're back to 90. Okay, 95, 100, right there. Okay, back to take the Z-axis, back down again. There we go, doing 20. There we go. We're in 20. This one, we've got to go out to 1.671. I think I might have taken the other one out too far. Oh well. Maybe not. Maybe I did it right. Alright, let's shut the mill off here. Get this out of our way. Let's move the rotary table around again. Well, that looks all right, I guess. So a little bit. Clean the dicom off, see what it looks like. Okay, got it. Move the rotary table around the other side. This side looks better, actually. I got to take a little bit out of here. There's a whisker in here that's got to get filed out later. Nothing I can do about that. There's that side. Okay, I think that concludes this video. There's a 93 thousandths hole that's got to get drilled in here, drilled and reamed. So I'll do that off camera, and then I'll be moving this over to the lathe, the TIG lathe, and cut this off to length, which is actually right here. This is where it cuts off the length, right here. This entire amount is extra that was left on here. Now I can see now that I left way more than I needed to. So that is what it is, I guess. So okay, with that I'll call off this segment. This will be segment D. This will be a final wrap on this. I've gone through most of the procedures, so if anybody's building this Vickie project, this might help. At least this kind of boggled my mind in the beginning. That's why I've kind of gone to a little extra length on the videos. So with that, I'll call off. Thanks for watching.